Is there any further discussion on the resolution? Mr. Sherman is recognized.
This is a good resolution. It is bipartisan, and its original co-sponsors include not one, but two Brads. For that reason alone, everyone should vote for it, but it's also fully consistent with the statements of the administration, the policy of the Biden administration. It is not an authorization to use military force, and the War Powers Act remains the law of the land. That being said, let me respond to a few of the more partisan things that have been said. Yes, indeed, two members of the Democratic caucus have said things about the Gaza hospital that I don't think are accurate. But 198 Republicans voted in late September for a CR that would cut aid to Israel by 30%. I don't think that, I'd love to think that one member of Congress is important, especially when I'm shaving and looking at the mirror. But the fact is 198 members is significant. Two members constitutes 0.5% of the House. I think Mike Pence had it right when in the day after the invasion from Gaza said this is what happens when Republican leaders call for a retreat of the United States on the world stage. $6 billion was moved from a well-frozen bank in South Korea to a less frozen bank in Qatar. I would like that money returned to frozen and then returned to the deeper freeze in Seoul. But keep in mind that democracies are very vulnerable when hostages are taken. And while everyone decries the fact that Iran is closer to getting its hands on the $6 billion, I don't think a single elected official said, don't do the deal to bring this person and that person back home from Iran. The vulnerability of democracies to hostage-taking is not only illustrated today by what Hamas is doing, but was illustrated last decade when Gilad Shalit was freed in return for thousands of Hamas terrorists, some of whom, no doubt, are involved in the attacks on Israel today. That being said, under the prior administration, Iran had its hands on many billions of dollars. As to the AUMF, I saw the flaws of the AUMF, but I will point out that in the early stages, it was both very bad and very good. Iran turned over a huge amount of fissile material, and Iran got its hands on a huge amount of money. In the middle years, including this year, and including all the years of the Trump administration, that deal was at its best. It becomes perhaps particularly flawed later this decade when the controls come off. So if there was a time to withdraw from the deal, it was next year or the year after, not last year or not 3 or 4 years ago, when it was doing its job and when Iran's nuclear program had less fissile material than at any time in the last 10, 12 years. So we can talk about a lot of things, but let's talk about the resolution that's before us. Let's vote for it. It says what I think we all agree, and that is we must make sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. And there was no time when it is more clear than today, when Iran clearly favors, may have planned, certainly financed, the brutal murder of as many Israeli civilians as their henchmen could get their hands on, not to mention the rapes, the beheadings, and the hostages. So let's pass this resolution. And let's forgive Sherman for 3 minutes of partisanship, but I was, after all, responding to other statements made, and I yield back.